Thanks for tuning in to Nindie Nation, a weekly podcast dedicated to games for Nintendo Switch developed by independent studios. I'm Jeff, and this is Josh.
Hello, Jeff. How's it going? You
Good,
are one
man.
busy man, if I have to say.
It has been a busy week. We'll get into that in a minute. Each and every week, we'll take you through the newest titles on the Nintendo eShop, discuss the best deals that you can't miss, and shine a light on some of the biggest titles you need to be playing, all the way down to the hidden gems that we think need to be in your library. We'll dive into what we're playing, what we think you should be playing, and everything else that has made the Nintendo Switch the go-to platform for fun and unique games made by some of the best independent devs in the industry. Let's jump right into what's been keeping our Joy-Con synced this week. Josh, what have you been playing?
Oh, Jeff, I have a nice batch of previews here that we can get right into. For one, Miles and Kilo. It's not out yet, but I've been thoroughly enjoying it. This is...
Got the hot scoop.
Yeah, hot scoop. 8-bit. This 8-bit. It's pretty much a platformer. It's based off Kid Trip. You remember what Kid Trip is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But why don't you remind everybody just in case?
Okay. It takes place. You're this kid, Kid Trip, obviously. So it's just pretty much an awesome platformer back in the day, and these developers that I can't think of their name right now. I have to look it up. But they're going to release Miles and Kilo, and it's based off this. It's takes place in the same universe, and it's basically like a platformer, but it also has auto run sections, and it's very simple. It was actually a mobile title before, and now they're bringing over the Switch, the same game, and I'm having a really good time with it.
So Kid Trip was the mobile title. Miles and Kilo is new everywhere, and it's only coming to Switch, or is it already on mobile?
It's already on mobile. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's also, that's right, it's just releasing for Switch now. So
cool.
Yeah, it's like I said, I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's just pure platforming action bliss. Like I said, it has the auto run sections where you have your dog's Kilo, and it's I can't delve too much into it, but it's a game you should definitely check out, look into if you're into those 8-bit platformers. So
that sounds great. When's it come out?
Comes out July 5th. So
awesome.
Yeah, look forward
Play
to
it
that
on your break.
Yes. Have a lot of hot dog eating parties. All those all those awesome parties on the 4th of July. Next, I'll get on into Paranautical Activity, and this comes out next week too. I've been playing. This is already out on PS4, Xbox One, PC. It's a retro-style first-person shooter that's roguelike in elements. You actually, as you kill things, you gain experience and money.
Ooh,
similar.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah. It has that 8-bit charm too. It takes a while to get into, though, because it doesn't control the best, I found. And if you read previous reviews, you can see that the controls didn't really jive for many players. But if you want your, roguelike experience, it's actually pretty cool in that regard. So I can see it having a good shelf life if you want to keep coming back to a title like that. So,
and maybe that's something that gets patched, and they can fix the controls. I mean, if they fix the controls, does that dramatically increase your enjoyment of the game?
I need to delve into the controls more, because I think you can change the sensitivity and all that. And I find that if you do that for certain games, it really helps. Like Fortnite for the Switch, I made it a lot looser with turning, and that made a huge difference. So definitely need to maybe mess around with that, see if they have the option. But that'll be out next week, and another little title that you can look forward to. Another title that just came out, 1917 Alien Invasion. Yes, this sounds interesting. This is actually a remaster of it's like one of those Neo Geo like titles that never saw the light of day, really, and that never got its fair chance. And it's pretty much bullet hell, nonstop shooter, just out of control, like Ikarugu or something like that. But yeah, it's neat. Like I said, you take the place of a German female pilot, and you're going against this alien force. It's really out of control. No holds barred.
Like ridiculous
alien technology
stuff. That's so much fun.
Oh yeah, it's totally out there, like a Wolfenstein, like alternate World War I timeline. So that was pretty cool. And then last title, Dream Alone. I haven't really played much of this. They built it as a horror platformer, sort of, in a way. It is gruelingly hard, and I became frustrated after a few levels in, so I haven't got back around to it. If you put in the time, I can see how it would be, you get used to it and have fun with it. But yeah,
I'll have to
hard.
let you stick to the scary games. I don't do those, man. You stick to the scary games and you report back, and anybody that's listening for their advice there, just know that that'll be Josh's bag.
Yeah, it has a great art style. I do like the art style, but yeah, it is so hard. So
Cool. Well, my week, I haven't been playing quite as many games, but I did go from start to finish in one and finally pick up something that I have been meaning to for months, and finally put down something that I was really excited about last time we talked, and that was Yoku's Island Express. And and it's interesting. I was sitting here thinking about how I was gonna phrase the fact that I've really turned on this game, and I really loved it when it came out, and I had such a great 2 first hours with it, and the more that I've played it, the more that I've found I've gone back to it 3 times since we last recorded. And each time, after 15 minutes, I'm like, I have just been going back and forth across this place, bouncing around in pinball screens where I'm not getting anything. There's no points. There's not a... you couldn't grind, as it were, which is unfortunate because there's a really strong hook to currency in the game. It's really important to open up new paths that you gather and accumulate currency, some kind of coin or something, and I'll find that I've got to get from point A to point B, and on my way there, I have to go through 3 different pinball screens, and each one I'm just watching the ball go around in circles until I get out of it. And sometimes it's the first, 1 or 2 flipper hits or whatever. Yeah. And sometimes I'm sitting there for 3 or 4 minutes. And when I get out of it, it's okay, now to walk over to the next one. And I didn't get anything out of it. So I mention this because I am now craving pinball on the Switch. And,
it's easy to do.
And,
yeah,
and so now that I've got that itch, I want to put it out to the community, to anybody that's listening, to let us know. We'll give you some of the contact information at the end. You can find us on Twitter and Facebook and all that great stuff. You can also email us at nindienation@gmail.com. But I want to know if there are any great pinball games. I know they've got, I think, Zen Pinball and Pinball FX are on there, and one of those has a little bit of drama about losing a license. I think that might be Zen Pinball. But, in your email, you can correct me there. I'm sure I screwed that up
Send
somehow.
corrections all to Jeff.
Yeah. Attention, Jeff. Oops. But in addition, I want to know, is there anything that's really unique pinball-wise? Because now I've got the Pinball Switch itch.
And as far as traditional pinball, there's plenty of options, like you said, to try to find out about. I don't know. Like I said, I played Zen Pinball on the PS4, so I can't really answer to the Switch because there's just a load of pinball-like games. But the thing about Yoku is it's very different. It's not because it does have RPG tendencies, and it's not like a traditional pinball where you just...
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's a Metroidvania.
Yeah.
Make no mistake about it.
So that's what's neat about it. But I share the same way that you feel about it, in a way that it just didn't hook me, and I felt like trying to grind past certain parts, it wasn't like in an RPG where you can grind and then get past it. It became skill-based and I didn't like how you'd hit it in certain parts and that pinball wouldn't go where you wanted it to, or the done ball or whatever that.
You're right, the poop that you're flinging around. Because, and, think about us and most people that would be listening to this podcast, they're people that want to try, I'm going to make an assumption here, but they're gamers that want to try a lot of different games. And they're probably not just getting one game and sticking with it for dozens of hours. And I think that's kind of what it boiled down to, is I felt a lot of my time with Yoku ended up kind of being wasted gaming time. I don't get as much time to play as I did when, I was in college, for example.
Yeah.
And so with that being said, if I've only got an hour or two in an evening to play, I don't want to sit down and play Yoku for 30 minutes and make zero progress, which happened a couple of times. Finally, I was like, all right, well, guess I'll push you to the back of the list for a while. Yeah. But picking that up, what I did play this week started from front to back and completed it across 2 or 3 days, was Devious Dungeon. And the game's on sale right now on the Switch.
Is it?
I think it's $6 or $7, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty cheap. I want to give a shout out to the developer because they're really cool. I think it's Radhalaka. Is that how you say it? Games?
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, they're really cool guys. They make a lot of games in this type of style. But yeah, you can hit on what you were going to say for it.
Yeah, so I think more than anything, I think it draws a lot of comparisons to Rogue Legacy. It is a roguelike. You're going through randomized dungeons. There are 64 levels, and every time you go into any of them, it's randomized. It's a very simple, you basically jump and attack, and that's it. Every level, you have to find the key so that you can open the door to the next level, and you get a checkpoint every 3 or 4 levels, and then every 3 or 4 checkpoints, you get a boss. I think there's 5 or 6 or 7 bosses. Right. Incredibly simple game, pure gameplay. Very, I don't want to say
it's a lot. The environments, they seem very varied. Like they look the same, but there's secrets that you can find that add extra experience or gold, because the gold's how you level up. And like you said, it's very simple. You just pretty much attack. You can't evade or you can't block. You just got to try to jump out of the way. And
I would say if there was one thing that I wish the game had, would be an evade. I wouldn't want to block. I don't think
dodge roll
still
or something like that.
Yeah, a dodge roll. Just like Rogue Legacy you could hit the L button and dash backwards. That would have really made some of the game more enjoyable, but at the same time, it might have made it too easy. I mean, I did play through the game. I did beat it, and when I got to the last boss, I probably put, probably 5 hours into it. And when I got to the last boss, that was an additional probably 2 to 3 hours of grinding. Like, it really gave me a good reason to play through those last few floors over and over again. And when they're randomized, it was a really good time. And I had like $2 of Nintendo points, the gold points in my account, so I got the game for like $4. And
it's a great system that they have, actually.
It is, because getting $2 off of a AAA title isn't that enticing. But when I'm on the fence and Devious Dungeon looks like my cup of tea for the week, it looks short and fun, and I can get it for $6 or $7 and then another couple bucks off with my points. It was a done deal. I strongly recommend, like, if you're looking for a good game to play over the course of the weekend or something to chip away at, the pick up and play mentality of the Switch, this game was perfect for it.
Yeah, no doubt. I've shared that sentiment. It's like I said, the developers are really awesome guys, and you can tell they put a lot of effort into it. I think they made League of Evil too, also, and it has the same general art style, that's what they use for pretty much all their types of games. But it's really cool.
Yeah, it's got that like little bit more than 8-bit type of style. There's a little bit more physics and some lighting effects and things like that. But it's very pixelated, but big pixels. Emotive characters, things like that. The other game that I played this week was Wonder Boy, and I had that game sitting in my library for months and finally dove in. You spent some time with that, didn't you, Josh?
Yeah. What I love about this game is that you can just flip back and forth from its like old it looks almost 4-bit graphical style.
I think it's a Master System game.
Yeah. I mean, very primitive, and it plays like exactly the same way, but then when you switch to the new graphics, it just mind-blowing how much of a difference it is. I think that's so cool for games to have.
It is. I mean, and it was a huge difference. I mean, you have these gorgeous hand-drawn... I mean, if I can compare it to any game, it reminds me of Shantae, the Half-Genie hero. It's got that hand-drawn Saturday morning cartoon style. But you can be, like, running left to right, attacking enemies, and clicking the button to switch between the audio or the video or the graphics, and it doesn't miss a beat. I mean, like, you can do mid-jump hitting an enemy, and you can switch back and forth between the graphics styles, and it doesn't hiccup at all. That's really cool. So it's hard.
It is very hard. I wanted to hit on that.
Okay, that's not just me?
Yeah, because... Yeah, it's taken from that time when games were just hard to be hard. Like, there are plenty of secrets around, but sometimes they're mandatory to find. And if you don't really know where to look, it can be very difficult to get through. Like, with getting certain items to go to other locations, like, a lot of going back and forth. And if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to become lost, even in this how small it seems. So,
yeah.
But it's really cool.
Yeah. The game is really neat. I do recommend it. Check back. I bet I've got it wrapped up next week, or I've rage quit it at that point. But I like to try to see my indie games to completion. So let's get into some of the things that we thought were worth discussing or exciting, especially since we're just coming off the heels of E3. We wanted to pick out a couple of games that either saw significant updates, or we got some more information about, or were announced from the week. Josh, you want to kick us off?
Sure. First of all, about the Nintendo E3 conference as a whole, what did you think of it? Because I have some thoughts on it myself, but I want to hear what you have to say, Jeff, about it.
Well, yeah, I went into it with, it's funny. I have a 5-year-old daughter, and I told her for the week before, we might be hearing about a new Kingdom in Mario Odyssey. we're going to know when the new Yoshi game is going to come out, and like all these first party AAA games that she and I play together that we're going to get all these updates about. And so at 5 years old, my daughter now understands the life of being in the Nintendo rumor mill, because we didn't get any of that.
You are hardcore Nintendo man. Yep.
I felt so bad. She's like, when do we get the new Mario Kingdom? I was like, it didn't happen. Sorry, but we got a lot of Smash Brothers. So, it was good. It was good for what it was. Nintendo's, they're marching to their own beat now. But it felt a little lacking. It was cool to get some games right off the bat, and obviously, like, Fortnite's a big win for them. What did you think?
See, people thought I was crazy because I'm not as big of a Nintendo fan. I am now getting to that point because of the Switch. But I've been a Regress fan for a while now. And I thought this conference was awesome because I think every game they showed I had a general interest in. I mean, people can be sick with Mario Party all they want, but I'm looking forward to it because I haven't played one since the N64, And I thought they did a good job with the sizzle reel of indie games, which I'll highlight some of those. And then the Smash, because they were, of course, going to talk about that. I thought the release date was a little late, I guess, but with everything they said about it,
I'm going to make a call here. I think this is going a little outside. I don't want to get on that slippery slope, but I think we've got the online service coming in September. There's a lot more information we need about that. I think we're going to get another Direct. And I think it's going to be maybe the online service, but I think we're going to get a Nindie Direct here by the end of the summer.
Yeah.
Maybe not July, but I would put some money on August getting, because we got the spring Nindie Direct, and that thing was jam-packed.
Oh, man, that was like so
18
good.
18 games in 20 minutes. It was crazy.
Yeah, that was so awesome.
So I think we're going to get another one of those soon.
Yeah, I thought it was fantastic. I'm just surprised looking at the internet, and more hardcore Nintendo fans really felt like it wasn't good. And I guess that's because they didn't have anything on Metroid Prime 4, those big titles that they revealed before, like you said, Yoshi. But, for me, I was like, man, this is awesome. And I'll hit on some of those games right now. As far as Killer Queen Black, it's come. This is a game that you may not know nothing about, but if you've heard other people talk about it that played it, they just hype this game beyond belief that it has to be brought up. And I think that's why Nintendo featured it as like their main Nindie that they showed. It can only be played on arcade cabinets right now, I think, which is if you get like the 8 people limit at those arcades, like Tim from Kinda Funny, Greg have hyped this game beyond belief when they've talked about it. Like, it's something that's always occupied at an arcade, I guess. And I don't know the whole concept behind it, but it's like a battle royale sort of one screen, like go get these. Yeah.
Yeah. It's one big screen. I think in the arcade it can be up to 10 players, and I think on the Switch it's going to be 8 players.
Okay.
Just because of maybe limits on the Switch.
Yeah.
And you form teams, and there are multiple ways that you can win a match. The matches, I think they're only like 3 minutes long. I don't know if you can change that, but like you, Josh, I haven't played it, but when people talk about this game, it sounds like the kind of game that like memories are made of. Maybe, I'm not trying to be like hyperbolic or dramatic here, but like, you know, there are games where it's like it's something that you get together with your friends, you play, and you that's what you remember from that evening out with your friends.
The second coming of the indie god. Yes.
Yeah.
One of those types of games that just everybody's going crazy for. So keep your eye out on that. No release date yet. We do have a release date though for Hollow Knight, which just came out that day. Which is awesome. A game I've been waiting to play, and since I've been so busy, I haven't had a chance to play it. I bought it the day it came out, I'm going to play it this week, so we have something to talk about next week, definitely. Another game that they mentioned was Super Meat Boy Forever, which they showed a quick this was like in a quick highlight reel that they showed some indie games on, and this looks really neat. It's auto runner. It's not like your traditional platformer like how Super Meat Boy was, which was ridiculously hard, but very tight controls. And this looks to be the same from the previews that people have said about it. It looks to be about the same. Next we have Bomb Chicken, which is coming out very soon, I think. And
I love this game.
Yeah, the concept.
I love this game so much.
It's right up your alley.
9 out of 10, and it hasn't come out yet. I'm going to go ahead and score it now. I mean, you're a chicken.
Chicken that
you use bombs.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
You hatch
this looks
bombs.
Amazing.
Right. Well, the next title I'm really pumped about is The Messenger, which should be out soon as well. And the whole concept of switching between 8-bit and 16-bit to get past certain points with the Ninja Gaiden like combat and everything, platforming, it looks amazing. Like,
it feels like Messenger if Shovel Knight was like the love letter to Mega Man or DuckTales or something like this, then the Messenger's got to be like the love letter to Ninja Gaiden and some of those other games from that generation. Most hyped indie right now for me, I think.
Oh yeah. That and the Mark of the Ninja, which is finally coming to another platform other than Xbox, which is awesome. And lastly, Banner Saga 3. They didn't hit on this too much, but if you are into the other Banner Saga games, I have them on the PS4, so I'm going to probably get this one for the Switch, though, because they're perfect for that. You can buy 1 and 2 already, and yeah, it's masterclass in strategic RPG action. Like, it has that Oregon Trail-like vibe to it, too, where you make decisions as your Viking squad go out on adventures, and it's a really neat title. That
Can you die from dysentery?
You can die from flesh wounds.
Okay, close enough.
Yeah,
close enough.
You know, all the Viking glory of having your head chopped off or whatever.
So we got Hollow Knight this week. That's awesome. What else came out this week?
What else came out this week? Oh, let me look on my awesome Switch right here. Ooh, see it?
Boop, boop, boop.
Come on. Go up. All right. Here we go. This is for 6/26, so next week. Depending on when you get this episode, it may not be new, but here we go. This game I was looking forward to a lot, and I played it on the Vita, but this is the remaster version, Lumines. It comes out on the 26th. It's
this week? Lumines comes out this week?
Yeah, 6/26. Yeah.
Man. Oh, I'm so stoked for that.
Pre-purchase. Let me click on it and see how much. Oh man, it's only $15, $14.99. Yeah. Oh, that's totally
buy
worth
it right
it.
now.
Yeah,
While
I
we're
should
on the
just buy
podcast.
it right.
I'm buying. I'm doing it right now.
He's
to purchase.
He's really doing it right now.
I'm really doing it right now. Here we go.
That's totally worth the price because it's an addictive rhythm-based game that's like Tetris, and yeah, it's really cool.
Made by the creators of Rez and Every Extend Extra. I know it's a deep cut, but fantastic. Yes.
Nice. We have Airmail, which looks like a flight sort of sim type of game or arcade action shoot 'em up. We have The Blob. The Blob.
And that game's come out quite a few times.
Yeah.
We've seen that. I mean, that was a Wii game, wasn't it?
It was? Oh, I don't know. I've seen it on the PS4, but yeah, it's I guess it's a 3D platformer, colorful. This is Cube Color with a K for color. So, it looks like a puzzle game that comes out on the 26th. Paranautical Activity, which I hit on earlier, is coming out on the 26th. Angels of Death. This looks like a sort of visual style horror type of title. Comes out on the 28th. Figment comes out on the 28th. Dream Alone, which I hit on, and you can see it has that a little boy on the little picture there that looks pretty frightening. Comes out on the 28th. Brave Danger.
This looks cool.
Yeah, pre-purchase for 15% off. No, I haven't yet.
This looks like a. I'm getting like a Castle Crashers vibe.
Definitely 2D Castle Crashers. Couch co-op.
I mean, this looks fun. This looks like a good one to keep an eye on. I'm adding this one to my wish list.
Yeah, and well, you get 15% off right now. So
I just bought a game 3 minutes ago.
Come on, man. You can buy some more. We have Proton Cube or Photon Cube. My bad. Photon. Photon. That looks like a puzzler. We have Fossil Hunters. That looks pretty cool. And then, this is a good one. Good one. A good combination. If you haven't played these games yet, do it. Limbo and Inside. What's the studio that did those? Come on, Nintendo. You should have this right on the...
Yeah, don't say from the creators of Limbo. Oh, no, it's on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah, I know.
What is it?
Undead? No, that's not
Undead, it. No.
Undead Labs, I was thinking. But that's
I was thinking, and first I was thinking Don't Nod. It's not Don't Nod. It's not.
No. But our listeners...
Play Dead.
There we go. Okay, I was about to say our listeners can do some homework. But their Inside especially is absolutely fantastic. That was probably in my top 3 games of that year that it released. And then lastly, The Journey Down Chapter 2 comes out on the 28th. And that looks like an adventure title, point and click. So
yeah, it does.
There's some
freaky.
Yeah. Chapter 2. So you might have had to play Chapter 1, which I don't know where that's at, but there you go. Those are the new releases for next week. So
fantastic. Let's take a look at what's on sale right now. We got a couple of great sales, and I gotta say, I mean, the sales right now are no joke on the eShop. So we're just gonna call out a few things that really stand out to us.
I want to mention I Am Setsuna as the one from $39.99 to $19.99. I have this for Vita, but it's a game that if you're into those old school type of JRPGs, the company, Square Enix, they made a studio from this to devote to old style JRPGs, and that's the studio that made this, and they are it's just like that. If you have nostalgia for those types of games, I totally recommend that.
For sure.
Yep. Owlboy. That's on sale. I can't see the sale price because I have it purchased, and you do.
It is 30% off for $17.49 right now, and I'm debating between Hollow Knight and Owlboy right now. So I'm going to pick up one of those as well.
Help Jeff out and recommend a game.
Yes, fight amongst yourselves.
Yes. Kamiko, that's also on sale. This is a very neat title that's fair. That was already cheap. But it plays like a top-down Zelda in a way, with different dungeons, and it's just like dungeon crawling, which it was really cool. Lost Sphere, that is from the same developer that made I Am Setsuna. I didn't play this one, but I've heard good things about that too.
It looks like the exact same game. It's just like they actually finally got out of the snow.
Yeah, exactly. Jotun. I want to
point out. I'm sorry. Go ahead with Jotun.
Okay,
I'll catch you on the other side.
This is a game that just came out recently, actually, for the Switch, and for 33% off, it's totally worth it because it sort of has mixtures of boss rush, but also has a great art style that, if you look at the pictures, screenshots, it doesn't do the game justice because when it plays in motion, it has a really sort of like the Banner Saga.
I was just saying, the images look like Banner Saga.
Yeah, but it's not strategy; it's action. But like I said, it's more of a bot. You play against bosses, and it's really beautiful. Leading up to the bosses, it's really cool how they do some of the scenes and stuff. So, highly recommend.
I wanted to ask, because Josh and I had this discussion separately. I looked up a game that I saw that is on sale, usually $15, currently on sale 93% off for $1, Plague Road. And I asked Josh, I was like, okay, this game looks like Darkest Dungeon. What is it?
It looks awesome.
I forget what you said.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is what you would say, a game that looks amazing, but then isn't what you expect it to be, and I was pretty disappointed by it. It's only, like you said, it's only $1 right now, but it's an RPG that doesn't have RPG mechanics, if that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
So we don't want to just tell you the games that you should play. We also want to point out, even for $1, let's spend our time elsewhere.
And I'll hit up while you're saying that. Hollow. It's an adventure game. And it has some shooting elements, but I didn't really like it. The story's good. If you can stomach the gameplay for the story, then it might be your type of game. But that's another one that's on sale.
That's a box quote right there for you.
Yeah.
Heavy endorsement. Stomach the story, the gameplay.
Yeah, which that's what most games are about. So
right.
Thumper is on sale, 50% off. I have this for PSVR, and that it's a trip on that. It's awesome. I'm sure playing on your handheld and the Switch is just as awesome. They describe it as, what is the term?
It's like nightmare rhythm game or something?
Rhythm hell or something like that. Okay. Man, there's so many sales.
Battle Chef Brigade is on sale for $12. What do you think of that?
Yeah, that's I can't see how much it is for sale, but whatever it is, you should probably just buy it because heavy mixture of Match 3, which I love those types of games, and also going out into the world, our action gameplay, RPG elements. It pretty much envelops all these in different sections, and it's really fun.
Made by Adult Swim Games, looks like something you would see in the Adult Swim block on Cartoon Network, like 100%.
Yeah, it's really cool. The Bunker, this is an interesting one. It's FMV type of game, and I had a lot of fun with it. It's pretty short, but if you want to go back to the days when they made FMV like types of video games, and you make decisions based on that, it's pretty cool. Tumble Seed. This game came out a long time ago, and it's finally on sale. But yeah, it's great. It's hard to describe because it's like a pachinko machine that moves up, So you're trying to dodge. You have this platform you control by tilting left or right, or you can use the thumb pad to make it tilt.
You can use like the gyroscope controls?
Yeah, there's different.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's fun.
Yeah, it's a neat title. Like I said, there's enemies that you have to dodge, and then you gain power-ups. Has a good RPG-like system to it. It's really unique, and I highly recommend that one.
Now, I saw Bit Dungeon Plus is on sale. It's normally $9, and it's on sale for about $7. And when I looked at the screenshots, in our last episode, you mentioned Binding of Isaac as one of your favorite games of all time.
Yeah.
And when I looked at the screenshots of Bit Dungeon Plus, it looks almost exactly like Binding of Isaac. So I wanted to ask if you've played it, if it is like that game, and if it is, should I just forego it and get Binding of Isaac instead? Or, what'd you think of that?
I always recommend Binding of Isaac over anything. But Bit Dungeon Plus is neat in its own way because it has multiplayer, which Binding of Isaac doesn't have. So it's fun in that regard. I never really came to grasp with the controls. Like, they felt not exact. I felt like I was never hitting the right place, or they felt too loose when I was playing. But yeah, it has that neat little, roguelike tendency of, building up your party, and then after you die, you get to level up certain things, come back into a dungeon, and knowing where certain things are, and boss battles in between each dungeon as you go deeper into the layers. And yeah, it has that same grab. As you may have noticed with many Nindie titles, they share the roguelike, which is one of my favorite genres of gaming. So that's why I love Nindies so much. So this is another one to add to the... Lots
of roguelike, RPG element, classic graphic style. That's kind of the majority of Nindies. Yeah. We love them for it.
Yep. Earthlock, that's another one. It's a pure RPG. That's on sale right now. It's, 60-hour RPG. That's fun. Slayaway Camp, Butcher's Cut is another one that's on sale, and it's pretty cool because it has a pixel-like Minecraft art style, but it puts you in place of like these horror-like tropes that happen, like being in that log cabin, and there's like a axe-wielding murderer after you, and you have to make up the scene as it goes along. And yeah, it's an interesting concept. I found it got old pretty fast, but
it's $7, $7.50 right now. So maybe at that price, it's worth diving into.
Yeah. I mean, it's a neat little title if you're looking for something different to play. So, and that's about it for the sale. It's great, man. So many good sales every week.
So much out there right now. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff. I do want to also point out, Josh said Tumble Seed. I also want to call out Tumble Stone. Tumble Stone is a fun puzzle game. It's like a falling block puzzle. It's not it's kind of like falling block puzzle or bust a move style game. It's only $4.50 right now. It's 70% off. I got it for free with the Xbox a while back. It was like a Games with Gold a long time ago. And I actually met these developers out at PSX 3 years ago, I think. Guys were super cool, and they put a lot of heart into this game. It's really corny. It's got a dorky story mode in it. But if you're sitting there and you've played Puyo Puyo Tetris and you're looking for something else to scratch that itch, for $4.50, I cannot recommend Tumblestone enough. A lot of fun, super hard, challenging single-player game as well. It's got its own little adventure mode, so there's a lot to play there.
That's pretty
I want to
cool.
call that one out as well.
That's pretty good. 70% off, yeah. That's good.
Great. Well, I think we should go ahead and let the folks know how they can get in touch with us. We over the last couple of weeks, we've gotten all of our places on the interwebs live. You can follow us on Twitter at Nindie Nation. Our YouTube page is now live for the time being. We will be posting the podcast in audio format, eventually maybe doing some videos. I would love to do some interviews, some Let's Plays, things like that. If we can get them up eventually, that we'll try to be fleshing out that page as we can. Also, our Facebook group is live now. Just search for Nindie Nation. You'll see it. Hit the like button, all that good stuff, and you'll see there's already a good amount of people in there. There's been some active discussion. I'm seeing people in there giving recommendations, asking for different recommendations on Nindie games on the Switch. It's the one place where you know exactly what the discussion is going to be evolving around, and so please reach out there and join us.
Sure thing. And additionally, we are part of the Nintendo Village. That's at www.thenintendovillage.com. They have a lot of great things there as far as reviews, previews, or the feature articles, and then they have a batch of awesome shows that we're happy to be a part of as well. Mouse Bites, for one. I want to give Clay Howard a shout out with this because it's a really cool Disney-themed podcast where they talk about old Disney games, which is really neat. You don't see any other podcast like that out there. I wanted to talk about Mickey Mouse and the World of Illusion because that was one for the Sega Genesis that I lost hours into with my friends.
What a great game.
Yeah. Oh, that was such a great game. First co-op game I really got into.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Those we don't want to get down a rabbit hole at this point, but man, those Disney games back in the 8-bit and 16-bit days, those were fantastic.
Yeah.
Awesome.
No
Great
doubt.
to see that be re-released recently with that Disney Afternoon collection.
Yeah.
But great. Well, you guys know where to find us. We just gave you all that. We look forward to engaging with you guys online. Feel free to reach out anytime. Remember, this week, if you have some recommendations for pinball stuff on the Switch, I want to hear about it. And if you have any other questions, if we start getting some of that kind of stuff from the community, we are happy to answer those questions and talk with you guys more about it in future episodes. Until then, this is Jeff and Josh as well.
See you guys later.